Then the Lord appeared to him by the oaks of Mamre, as he was sitting at the entrance of the tent in the heat of the day. He lifted his eyes and looked, and behold, 3 men were standing near him. When he saw them, he ran from the entrance of the tent to meet them and bowed down to the ground, saying, "My Lord, if I have found favor in your sight, do not pass by your servant. Let a little water be brought. Wash your feet and rest yourselves under the tree. Let me bring you a morsel of bread, that you may refresh your hearts. After that, you may pass on, since you have come to your servant." They said, "Do as you have said." So Abraham hurried into the tent of Sarah and said, "Quick, 3 measures of fine flour. Knead it and make cakes." Abraham then ran to the herd, took a tender and good calf, and gave it to his servant, who hastened to prepare it. He took curds, milk, and the calf he had prepared, and set them before them. And he stood by them under the tree while they ate. Then they said to him, "Where is Sarah, your wife?" He replied, "She is there in the tent." The Lord said, "I will surely return to you at this time next year, and Sarah, your wife, shall have a son." Now Sarah was listening at the entrance of the tent, which was behind him. Abraham and Sarah were old, advanced in years. Sarah had ceased to have the way of women. So Sarah laughed to herself, saying, "Shall I have pleasure after I am worn out, and my Lord is old?" But the Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh and say, 'Shall I indeed bear a child, now that I am old?' Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the appointed time, I will return to you, at this time next year, and Sarah shall have a son." But Sarah denied it, saying, "I did not laugh," for she was afraid. He said, "No, but you did laugh." The men rose up from there and looked towards Sodom, and Abraham went with them to see them off. The Lord said, "Shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him? For I have chosen him, so that he may command his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing righteousness and justice, so that the Lord may bring upon Abraham what he has promised him." Then the Lord said, "The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and their sin is very grave. I will go down to see whether they have done altogether according to the outcry that has come to me, and if not, I will know." So the men turned from there and went towards Sodom, but Abraham remained standing before the Lord. Then Abraham drew near and said, "Will you indeed sweep away the righteous with the wicked? Suppose there are 50 righteous within the city. Will you then sweep away the place and not spare it for the sake of the 50 righteous who are in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to slay the righteous with the wicked, so that the righteous fare as the wicked. Far be that from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth do what is just?" And the Lord said, "If I find at Sodom 50 righteous in the city, I will spare the whole place for their sake." Abraham answered, "Behold, I have undertaken to speak to the Lord, I who am but dust and ashes. Suppose 5 of the 50 righteous are lacking. Will you destroy the whole city for lack of 5? And he said, "I will not destroy it if I find 45 there." Again he spoke to him and said, suppose 40 are found there. He answered, For the sake of 40, I will not do it. Then he said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Suppose 30 are found there. He answered, I will not do it if I find 30 there. He said, Behold, I have undertaken to speak to the Lord. Suppose 20 are found there. He answered, For the sake of 20, I will not destroy it. Then he said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak again, but this once. Suppose 10 are found there. He answered, For the sake of 10, I will not destroy it. And the Lord went his way when he had finished speaking to Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place.